The other person that's good to leverage is a fresh filmmaker out of uni, where the exchange is you get to use my brand name and face and brand that I've built to help build your portfolio, get more experience on set. You get paid with guaranteed to be a part of the production team. If you help me find bookings, it's a lot easier for you to leverage the clout of my agency, the clout of my face as a director to get on set and get experience for yourself. But you need to put in the legwork of going out and finding the work. That's the other sort of cheap and effective, cost effective setter place you can go. So when it comes to hiring a setter, as Michael's already gone through, you've got those sort of options here. The other thing you need to think about based on where you are in the world is where to be hiring them from. So fairly universally, the best place to go would be the Philippines, just based on what we've experienced with the culture there. They're extremely hard workers. They're used to outsourcing being a primary industry for them. So they're not foreign to working late nights with the US market, working around the clock. It's fairly normal for them. So it's not going to be a culture shock in that regard. If you're in Europe, a place I'd be looking out for is Ukraine and the Balkan regions over in Eastern Europe. You can get setters quite cost effective over there. I know, so price range wise, about 600 US. We were looking at a setter there for full time, and he was earning more than what his parents were, and most people in his country were. And then for the US market, you've got the Latin American region, South America. One of our top setters that we've ever had was from Colombia. He was super, super good with English, was just using it as a side income, would work his day job, and then would come home and do setting with us for a couple hours. Beyond that, and then obviously for the Aussies, I don't think we've got any on here. You've got the Philippines, Southeast Asia are the best places to go. Now, you're typically going to find a lot more of that India, Southeast Asia, those types of, and Latin America, a lot on Upwork. And then obviously online jobs is just for the Philippines. It's a remote setting platform. And then for the rest of those other countries, you're going to get them spattered across going through coaches and Facebook groups. If you just type in remote appointment setter and then filter groups on Facebook, you could throw a dart and you're going to hit a group that is full of appointment setters interested. So the way that I would go about it is sort of you got two templates here. One that's more of a traditional job posting for online jobs and Upwork here, and then more of a post-based listing for your Facebook groups and Instagram. So I'll go through the setter one and sort of the key things that you need highlighted in your listing to ensure that you get a good volume of setters. So obviously you need to get super clear on what type of industry and who they're going to be messaging. The other thing would be the type of messaging. So because you've got setters that do cold calling for solar and real estate. You've got people that do qualifying calls for other coaching offers or for agencies where they do qualifying based on inbound leads. You want to be getting super clear on the way in on what type of job they're going to be doing, because that's going to determine how long you're keeping them for, on how clear and transparent you are on the job that's ahead of them. Because appointment setting, as good as it's presented to be, it's often very sexed up as to you get to be a digital nomad. You're going to be earning up to like 5 or 10K US a month. 80% of the market is you're looking at between sort of 1 to 2K US on a nice range full time. And it's like any other job and it gets boring really quick. And I say that as someone that has done appointment setting for that period of time. It's not the most exciting job to be doing. So things with that you want to be clear on is like on target earnings. typically the commission structure that we recommend is either, if you're looking at bringing someone on full time, flat rate 1,000 US plus $50 a sale. Or if you've got it getting them closer to while you've got them part time, it would be $5 US an hour plus 2.5% commission on all cash collected for any deals that they help bring through. So,
And I spoke about this in the morning sessions, like the way I would do it, because the way, I mean, I'm doing it like this now, but the way I would do it is I would target the Philippines. I would put them on 1,000 a month, and I would give them $50 per sale because my percentages in agency world is way too high. I'm closing 30, 100, 50K every deal. So for me, I wouldn't want to give them the percentage of that. I just wouldn't want to give that money out. I'd rather, and the Philippines for me has always been a winning. They're just really, really committed. And I just find that they work incredibly hard and they're just really fluent in English. And if you get a really good one, they'll stay with you forever. And they would love the fact of being able to, make that extra 50, and the 1,000 is well and truly going to put them above the middle class in terms of where what the things cost. I know because I've done it, and I had my last sort of VA. And then you can put them on other duties as well. So you just say like, look, do 4 hours of setting and then 4 hours of admin, and you can really get them involved in sort of like things like producing. Like I turned Jonah, who I had for 4 years. She ended up in the end, she was a producer for me. She was producing most of the stuff online. She got so good, and then I'd have her setting as well. So that's how I would structure it now. But this is sort of what we're doing at this point, which is the $5 an hour, because we have so many different shifts, and it just doesn't make sense to just put because I want 24-hour coverage. That's the reason why we do it that way. But if I was you and I was in your business, I would just go, right, let's put 1,000 into this lead gen. Let's pay $50 bonus for every sale they make. And that's how I would structure it. It's clean, it's simple, it's easy, rather than having to calculate it every single month and then have the percentage. So this kind of how I would do it.
yeah, so that's the main framework for the posting. It's a lot closer to a standard job post for Upwork and online jobs. And then from there, you're moving into that sort of first hoop. So the first hoop is just a simple Google form fill out where it's a lot of the same stuff that you're going to be putting in a CV. And what you're looking to do is sort of just filtering down the copy pasters, as Michael explained. And I think we went from about 200 applicants on online jobs down to 50 just through that first hoop. And then what you're looking for as well is like, what type of work are they looking for? Have they actually tailored their CV to the post, to the position? If they have experience in your niche, that's always a good plus. So if they've worked as a VA for the louder boys, if they've worked as a VA for a law firm before, or for in the niche, or if they've worked in video or marketing in some way, where they've got that extra little bit of industry insight, so that they can hit the ground running a little bit more, and you're not having to explain basic concepts to them, and you're shortening that learning curve when you're bringing them on board. There's a few other sort of key things to be looking out for, but really it's just getting them, unless there's a glaring hole in their application, bringing them into that first interview. And typically through that interview process, if you've hired remote editors, it's a fairly similar process. At least from my experience, you get to fairly quickly see there'll be probably 1 to 3 clear standouts. Little things like if they haven't even done a background check on your brand and what you do, and they don't understand from your website who you are, what you do, what you're about, what niche you serve, they're almost instantly off the table for me. But really, you're just trying to get to understand them. If they're from some of these English second language speaking countries, gauging their language fluency. If you are unsure about their language fluency, you can run them through a second hoop, which is just like a dummy, a copy of your script and a couple of screenshots of your DMs with messages blanked out, and getting them to pattern recognize what DMs they should be sending or how they would handle certain objections. And what you're doing there is you're just getting an idea of, without any training, what's their level of English, and what you're looking for is, can I train this person into a gun setter? Is this person going to be too much of a problem when I bring them on board, that I'm just going to be fighting too much of an uphill battle and it's just going to be a time sink? Or is there potential here? Once you've got them, then you're moving into training.